Uvla Lotuk friends and you are friends. Welcome back to Trekking the Future. As always, I'm Joshua Hadley, but him, it's not as I was like before. You said just call me Snoopy, and it keeps changing. Like it goes from Giggity Gopher to Lord Justin Belanger of the Principality of Sealand. Like
That one was
I
because of
mean,
you. You made that change. Hi, hello. I goofed up this week. I'm sorry. I forgot to watch the episode. It completely slipped my mind. I don't know what happened. Uh, Josh's theory is that it was the drugs. It's very possible.
yeah, too much caffeine. Like
And
it's
I
like
was I was looking forward to the episode too. It sounded very interesting. But I'll be watching it later today. Uh, but Josh is still gonna talk about it, and I can go into it with his, you know, thoughts in my head as well, and
absolutely.
see how that goes. And
What
yeah,
are you sure the thoughts won't be outside your head?
they might they might be. Aren't thoughts
Um.
outside your head just like a book?
Oh, are they? Is that? Did you
Mm,
write it?
no,
That'd be
no.
funny if like I was like, oh yeah, thoughts outside your head is a book by Justin Belanger.
Split
Like,
fiction.
you're-
That's kind of the case. In that game, it's like you're trying to publish a book. So you go to this place, but then like they have this machine that like puts people asleep, and then they basically live the books. It extracts their thoughts and it puts them inside the
oh
books.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. But explain it for the people. Like, it's like Tetris, except you're in it.
yes, but basically, also I love that game, but I don't get how most of the stuff in that game is meant to be a book. Because like you're playing it, it's like this is just a video game. I don't know how they would write this as a book, where there's supposed to be
Hmm.
books that you're playing out.
Well, we could talk a little bit about that in book club because I actually wanted to bring up the differences between media, and of course,
Mm.
I was thinking the difference between watching a Star Trek show and reading a book. But yeah, I think we should bring this up again during our book club segment. I didn't for well, I wanted to read it, but I've been so busy, and I did want to mention that we got a lot going on, and
Yeah.
I have some new events coming up in June.
June.
I don't know if I will advertise it on this podcast. I need to brainstorm some names for it. So,
Mm.
but there's also Juneteenth, but I have an event in between then and now.
Right.
So, um, for now, there'll be one more week of this one ad. I mean, it's so important to consider our advertising. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yes.
let's get into this episode.
All right. So what did you think of the episode?
Um, can you remind me of the name real quick?
The name of the
I
episode is Charades.
Charades, that's right. And it's funny that Charades is the name, even though it came up like once, but it is sort of an important moment.
Hmm.
I really liked going again into Spock's duality as being half human, half Vulcan. Seems to be a running theme in this show. I imagine it's something that's brought up a lot in the other Star Trek shows as well. Not quite sure.
Mm.
Um, the I I do recall like at the end of Wrath of Khan it coming up, but anyway, we're talking about trades.
Charades.
Yeah. Spock he has a meeting with T'Pring's family.
Hmm.
Yeah. No, Tepo. Sorry. And his wife or his fiance rather, not his wife yet.
Yeah.
Get too ahead of myself. This is a prequel show.
Yes.
um, yeah, they're gonna have a ceremony, and of course, he has this situation where him and Nurse Chapel go into some kind of event, like a wormhole of some type, and Spock protects her in the incident, and he ends up getting hurt. Though these space entities help him out and say, "Oh, there was an issue with this guy. There was like seems like there was two souls in him,
Mm.
and we made it so that there's one." And of
Mhm.
course, the one ended up being Spock's human side.
Yeah. So he becomes human. He
Um,
gets a beanie as
yeah,
one
he
as
gets
a
a
human
beanie.
does.
Yeah, yeah, and definitely not a Vulcan thing at all. um, and so of course, this it seems like important in Vulcan culture, like to be fully Vulcan, and I mean, I have experienced this as myself, and we'll get into that
Yeah.
specifically later on. The what did we call that segment?
Duality
The
of identity.
duality of identity. Yeah,
Yes.
we'll get more into that later, since it's got its own talking point
Yes.
section. So that's such. I'm so terrible at English. Anyway, Um, yeah, there's that conflict, and that's been um something that's a rolling storyline in the show. As you recall, we had the body swap episode, which
Yes.
went into this as well
Very
last
fun one.
season. Yep, absolutely, and a very fun episode here. I think so far this might have been my favorite.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. This has been my favorite episode of the season so far. I
Nice.
rated it a 9 on
Mm.
IMDb, which is higher than any of the other episodes. I really enjoyed the humor, and it was fun to see, you know, Spock interact with his mom. That was great. Um, and sort of the things his mom does to, you know, s- be work or function in Vulcan society. We were gonna go over cultural norms, though. Between different um societies and cultures, but whatever. But there's some news, so we'll get into it here. His mom has to do things like during the ceremony, she has or whoever Bach
Yeah.
has to grab a pot of boiling water or not water, but some kind of drink I can't recall. I did watch this last weekend.
Hmm.
So when she does it perfectly well, and when Spock, you know, grabs the pot, his hands like oh, and Vulcans seem to feel less pain than humans, and that's something he had to deal with. And Spock, I really like that. This incident really brought him closer to his mom, and he because he had his Vulcan side taken out. He sure got to see the um struggles she has to go through to integrate herself in the Vulcan society. And I think that's very applicable to if if you ever go somewhere else, like there is different cultural norms, as I said a minute ago. And it's something that happens. I know some places, like a controversy sometimes for people to eat with their hands, but for other places it's perfectly normal. I think in Japan it's rude to blow your nose. They would rather have you just sniffle, you know.
I'd fit in very well over
And
there. I have not once in
it,
my life blown my nose.
I and I like to breathe through it, so I like getting all the gunk out, like to
I do
use
some
it.
sniffles. I've tried. It feels weird. I don't know. It's just there's like a mental block for me whenever I try to do it.
uh, I see.
Mm, a lot of
Oh,
sniffling though.
and and of course, this goes in on to the love triangle with Nurse Chapel as well. Spock, when he became a human, he went through puberty, so
Oh.
he got all those feelings that a teenager gets. Um, Is that I thought that was very fun as well, and obviously this leads all into his romance with Nurse Chapel.
Hmm.
Um, and of course we're gonna get more into that in the season 3, as we saw in the preview where they're laying in bed. But yeah, very interesting love triangle as well. Um,
So
and
in later Star Trek stuff, are they married? Him and T'Pring or whatever her name is.
yeah, when she's introduced as his wife
Okay,
in the original
so
series.
we do know that that ends up being the couple.
Yeah. And I didn't see the episode, but I did look over the Star Trek Wikipedia.
Mm.
Um and thinking more about the episode. I really liked Nurse Chapel talking to so see, they try to fix Spock through their own technology, and they can't figure it out. So Nurse Chapel has to go back to the wormhole with help from the other crew to talk to this space entity. They're not um, carbon-based life. They're some sort of globes or something.
Hmm.
I mean, they obviously had a better explanation of what was going on in the show. I just ha- Um, uh, it's hard for me to remember, but
Mm.
they're not. I mean, they have the power to turn Spock fully human, so
Mm.
they're different sort of life. Not quite like Q, but
Yeah.
similar.
Mm.
Oh, and I only know Q from watching shorts on YouTube. Like, oh, okay, this is this character. um, so yeah, best episode so far, and yeah, I think you would really enjoy this. This is probably your favorite episode of the season so far as well.
I think next week we'll have to put in a little segment in the beginning just for me to talk about the episode, just like a little quick
Well,
one, just to be like, hey, I like that.
well, you can just say it in the introduction
Yeah,
phase.
that'll work as well. But I will be watching it probably later today. I just, for some reason, I completely blanked on it. I don't know why. I brought up to Moose that I hadn't had a chance to read this right here. Um, but at least I remembered that I didn't have a chance to read that. It wasn't until like maybe like a couple minutes before we went live where I was like, shit, I didn't watch the
Yeah,
episode.
it really was.
What's going on, man?
well, well, you know, I think the issue is too much drugs. Like,
Mm.
you're drinking way too much caffeine. I
Yeah,
think
I was drinking
you're only supposed to have
iced coffee.
2 servings of W a day. You know that, right?
Only two. Speaking of, here we go. Look at that. Gonna drink some of that Dubby. Good stuff right there.
Yep.
And then boop,
Today,
that link up there, right there. You see that link? We go there. You get
there's
10% off. It automatically applies the promo code GopherTuck, which you can apply yourself if you just go to GG or w.gg, put in promo code GopherTuck, all one word, no and. Or you click that
no
link
end.
over there. Or if you're watching it on YouTube, the link down there in the description. Excuse me, automatically applies the code. You get 10% off on all your Dubby.
10% off, and I really appreciate that. Today I'm drinking. You get all these weird different flavors. Today I'm drinking Grandpa's Denture Water.
Grandpa's Adventure Water. My favorite name that they've had so far.
Yeah, it's a soaked in clean mango pieta.
Mm.
Is that how you say it? I think
All I know is Grandpa's Denture Water has never sounded so delicious.
exactly. I mean, I really enjoy this flavor of W.
It's a good one. Nice little green
Yeah,
situation.
yeah, W, to explain it, W is a powdered energy drink that replaces other inferior caffeine beverages. It contains zero mal- malextrin, maltod extrin, zero fillers, zero artificial colors or dyes, no proprietary blends. I said that wrong. The start of the show is our coffee fruit extract, which helps you focus with no jitters or crash, and that's something I really find interesting. That is the fact that they get their caffeine from fruit.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting.
It
Very
is,
natural.
and you get 30 servings out of each tub. So I find it. I don't live in Texas where these energy drinks are probably $1 or two.
Mhm.
Uh, might be a bit more expensive here. It's $7 for like a Nos or a Rockstar.
Let's see.
Like
I'll check right here on the Amazon.
on the Amazon.
Let's see. So
But
Rockstar, it's if I can find just a single one. Oh, it's packs. There we go. $5? Really? Wow.
wow,
Think maybe
but I think
prices may have went up a little bit recently because I think it was like $1 or $2 before. Yeah, they got like $5 now, and that's for one. That's for one can. With that, you get the 30 servings, and you get 10% off. It's what like it's like $40 I think without the 10%.
yeah,
Yeah, so you're paying like $36 for 30 servings rather than $5 for one.
yeah. So I really appreciate W as I said before for that, and it's mainly where I get a lot of my caffeine.
Yeah,
The only other time is when I get a soda pop for free. I don't
soda pop.
buy it myself anymore.
I get soda when I go to the movies, but that's about it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's
Get
zero
soda
calorie.
there.
I mean, they got them Coca Cola freestyle machines, so I gotta go in on those.
All right, so little no, I was gonna say a little bit different episode or episode of book club,
Yeah, well, we both have
but
the book.
yeah, but we both have it now.
Yes. No one read it, but we both
Really?
have it.
Yeah.
In that same book.
Um, yeah, like I said, I was very busy this week. Thursday, I to do some complaining. I woke up 5:30, did whatever, and clocked in at work at 7 to 9:30. Came back here to do a Zoom call. Then figured out my email for the city of Kotzebue. Read the packet. Went to the city council meeting. In between that, went to my brother's graduation. Congratulations to him. He got an
Congratulations
award as well.
to Brother Hadley.
Yep,
And an award? Hell yeah.
and an award. So that was all Thursday, and I didn't get home till 11:30. So
Mm,
been busy, but
yeah.
I did read some of this book, and I did like what I read. What I appreciate about we were discussing this earlier. What I appreciate about reading this is you get really weird aliens. Like they run into they're getting a distress signal from a ship, and they get some video, and it's some sort of octopus guy. And
Maybe it
what I
was
wanted to say
Octodad.
is maybe
Hmm.
maybe it was.
Maybe these are the adventures he's getting up to nowadays.
Maybe Octodad was set in the future. Was there ever like a time like
You know, that could be. Could be. I mean,
mm,
what was the octopus guy in this a father yet? No.
mm. Well, I didn't get that far into the book. I wanted to say that. But
Maybe he has the kid
I
at the
bring up
end.
the yeah. And he walks around really strange too. Like he's got two different brains or something.
You know?
Actually, yeah, octopuses isn't there tentacles like brains?
I don't know, but that seems
Like
like the kind of thing that would be weird enough to be true.
um so I bring this up because I wanted to mention I appreciate um novels because y- you could read something and you could imagine, it's all in your imagination to what
Yeah.
it would look like. Whereas for a TV show, it's a bit harder, and I know the original series, a lot of the aliens don't quite look as they do now because they had you know, not just the budget, but
Mm.
they only had so much technology for the effects. Like the Gorn sort of looks like a crocodile man, and now they're way different.
Yeah. I I think it's interesting when like you watch something, like you watch an adaptation of something, and then you go back and read it, and you try to picture what they look like how they were imagined to look like. Because like uh, A Song of Fire and Ice, right? It's the series that Game of Thrones is based on. In Game of Thrones, Tyrion, played by Peter Dinklage, gets like his face kind of messed up during one of the battles early on in the series, and afterwards he kind of just like has a scar that's like going like across his face like that. Like that's it. In the books, his whole face is just completely fucked up for the rest of the series.
Oh,
So I'm interested in like how that would have looked if they had like went all in on that. I understand why they didn't, because they would have to put him in all that makeup and everything like for the entire like last 5 or 6 seasons. But yeah, it's interesting.
yeah, that is interesting. But um, I'm not giving any sort of recommendation on this or review because I did only read a couple chapters, but
Yeah.
hopefully, um, now that
Now,
I'll have some free
in those
time, that
chapters that you read, was there actually the Pokemon Arbok?
oh, we're we're traveling there. We didn't quite get there yet.
Yeah,
We're
so
going to the distress signal.
we don't know yet if there's an actual Arbok in Incident at Arbok. So we don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Well, we'll find out. Maybe we'll find out in the future episode of
Mm.
Checking the Future. But
Mm.
now I think it's time to go into our new game, Trek or not Trek.
Trek or not Trek. The way it works, Josh has three plot lines that he explains from various Star Trek movies, shows, whatever. They could be true, actual plot lines that happened, or fake plot lines that he made up, or maybe plot lines that he got from a different series, so stuff of that nature. He flips a coin to decide whether each one's going to be real or fake, so there's no strategy involved in that. And I have to get two right to win. If I get two wrong, I lose. What are the stakes this week?
How about if you win, you get to watch 2 episodes of Star Trek today. If you lose, you only get one.
All right, there we go. That's the deal. Okay.
All right. All right. First episode. The USS Cheerios is dispatched to the remote colony of Verdena Prime to investigate reports of a revolutionary food production system that has eradicated hunger and waste. Upon arrival, the lower deckers, Marina, Vladimir, Tina, and Rutherford, are intrigued by the colony's claims of a closed loop ecosystem. As they delve deeper, Tenny uncovers unsettling data inconsistencies in the colony's population records. Simultaneously, Rutherford's analysis of the food synthesizers reveals traces of unidentified organic compounds. The crew's suspicions grow when they discover that the colony's deceased are not accounted for in any burial or cremation logs. The truth emerges. The colony's sustainable food source is derived from recycled human remains, a practice indicated to combat overpopulation and resource scarcity. Horrified, the Charades crew confronts the colony's leadership, who defend their actions as a necessary sacrifice for the greater good. Determined to uphold Starfleet's ethical standards, the lower deckers expose the grim reality to the wider Federation. The episode concludes with the Federation colony being placed under quarantine and the crew reflecting on the moral complexities of survival and the importance of transparency.
All right. That feels like a very Star Trek episode. It feels like it. Doesn't necessarily mean it is, but I'm gonna go real episode on that one. Real
I
plot.
made it up.
Ah,
Damn.
Well, okay, that's one wrong. I've gotten one right every time so far. I haven't won a single game, but I've gotten one plot right each time. So,
All right,
let's see this
all right.
one.
Second F's.
Okay.
During a routine mission, the USS Discovery experiences a transporter malfunction while beaming up an away team from a planet with unique insectoid life forms. Unbeknownst to the crew, a native fly-like creature enters the transporter beam simultaneously with Lieutenant Commander Paul's statement. Or
Oh,
statement.
Paul.
Paul, not Paul. Upon rematerialization, statements. I think it's statements. Begins to exhibit unusual symptoms, heightened senses, erratic behavior, and gradual physical transformations resembling the insectoid species. As the metamorphosis progresses, the crew realizes that Statman's DNA has merged with that of the alien creature, creating a hybrid entity. The transformation poses a threat not only to Statman's life but also the safety of the ship, as the new abilities become increasingly uncontrollable. Dr. Hugh Clubber and Commander Michael Berman worked tirelessly to reverse the process, utilizing the ship's advanced medical facilities and the spore drive's unique properties. They devised a plan to separate the merged DNA strands. The procedure is risky, but with Statman's condition deteriorating, they proceed. The operation succeeds, restoring Statman's to his original form and the safety, returning the alien creature to its natural habitat. The incident prompts a thorough review of the transporter protocols to prevent future occurrences.
All right. Real plot, lock it in.
I made it up.
I keep
Damn.
thinking if I just go true every single time, eventually I'll get two right. It ain't working for me.
Damn, well, I mean, that's a loss this week, but we still have one more,
One
so
more.
let's
So
read
we can
it.
try to keep my streak of getting one right.
Yeah, let's try to keep the streak. While exploring a remote sector of the galaxy, the USS Enterprise responds to a distress signal from an uncharted planet. Upon arrival, Captain Kirk and his crew discovered a hidden laboratory operated by Dr. Zaphram Cloris, a scientist exiled from the Federation for unethical experiments. Dr. Cloris has developed a method to preserve and sustain human consciousness independent of the body, aiming to achieve immortality. His latest subject is Lieutenant Mira Voss, a Starfleet officer presumed dead after a shuttle incident. Cloris has kept her brain alive in a containment unit, claiming he could eventually provide her with a new, superior body. However, Lieutenant Voss's disassembled consciousness begins to exhibit signs of instability, expressing desire to enter an unnatural existence. As the crew investigates, they uncover that Claris's the doctor has conducted similar experiments on other beings, resulted in tragic outcomes. Faced with the moral dilemma of preserving life at the cost of uh, autonomy and natural order, Captain Kirk must decide whether to intervene. With the assistance of Spock and Dr. McCoy, the crew devises a plan to safely terminate the experiment and allow Lieutenant Voss to rest in peace.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna keep this train running. True. Real.
I made it up too.
It was a three falsity. Oh no.
It was.
Well, there goes my streak of getting one right. If I would have went
Yeah.
if I would have went the opposite direction this week, would have went all false. That would have been it. Not only would I have won, but I would have been a perfect 3-0.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Since we got some time, I got the first episode. I figured, oh, well, if there was a lower decks episode like Soylent Green, you know, it's people. um, the second one is inspired by The Fly,
Oh.
and the third one is inspired by The Brain That Won't Die.
See, I never even heard of that one. I have heard of The Fly, and I know about Soylent Green. Haven't seen either of such things. Although, I should get on those at some point. What was the third one you said?
Oh, The Brain That Won't Die, and I mean,
Oh,
it's
okay.
just an old movie. It's not a classic, but
Interesting.
I figured, oh, this sounds like it could happen in Star Trek. I
Eating people. Those. Them swelling greens right
well,
there.
well, it's time to talk about your favorite petition, the one to support Josh Hadley and Robert Shields at the Green Party of Alaska and demand public discussion.
Yes. Mandate.
And
You got the link for the chat?
oh, you got it on there.
I got the W link. Where's yeah? We need the link for the petition.
Here you go.
There
Right.
we go, and there it
Screen it.
is. There's the link. Click that. You go
And
ahead and you sign it.
yeah, and now we got 7 people. I decided to finally take a sign because I want public discussion. And
Discussion.
so this is the last week we're talking about it. There'll be other things going on that
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to. But since we got one more time, I just wanted to read this. The leadership at the Green Party has been acting to suppress democracy and discussing. This is a retaliatory action against Josh Hadley, who's an indigenous Inuit man, as I am, and elected as a Green Party member to into City Council, which I am. I wear an Admiral feet. Um, but what I wanted to get into is that the Green Party has acted this way, and many others have been victimized, including U.S. Green presidential candidates Emmanuel Pastorich, um, George Zavala, and Susan Laki, Davi, Chad Wilson, Ian Gluckman, and more. People who are not U.S. Green presidential candidates who have been members of the Green Party for some time, who are also protesting, are John Olson, who I did Green for Life with, Gloria Gullo, um, Tom Rodman, who I talked to about computers a lot. We have been joined by other U.S. presidential candidates, including former Libertarian Chair Party, the the chair of the Libertarian Party, formerly Blake Huber, in asking for a public meeting between DJL7 and me to addressing questions regarding the lack of transparency and self-contradictory behavior regarding the actions of the Green Party. Um, so yeah, we'd appreciate it if people would like to get involved and just sign the pension.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, I have had my own issues like working with Howie Hawkins' campaign and them deciding, oh, yeah, threatened to sue me, which I did not appreciate. I'll tell you that. Um, yeah, I think we should talk about this. I know most people don't care about the Green Party. I mean, this this thing has 7 signatures now. But the one against me only has 3, as far as I
Yeah,
recall.
yeah. That's less than half.
This thing have so. Uh, anyway, check it out. Would appreciate anyone who would like to sign.
Yes.
If this goes anywhere, I will. We will give an update since we did talk about it on the show. So,
Yes.
if there is anything to discuss,
Yeah.
anyway, I
Yes.
believe it's time to move on to your favorite subject, the duality of identity.
My
I
favorite
mean, what is it?
subject was actually lunch.
Oh, I was just wondering, like, so what is it? Is it Mr. Snoopy? Is it Snoopy? Is it Giggity Gopher? Like,
It is Gopher. Just Gopher. No Giggity. No Snoopy. No Mister. Just Gopher. That's it. That's all. That's all it is.
when are you gonna change your name just to Go?
You know, could I could do it. I could change my name to Go Fur with Go as the first name, Fur as the last name. Then I could be Mister
And the
Fur.
verb, if you are.
There you go.
I like that. Anyway, to go back to the episode, I mean, Vok, Spock, rather not Vok. Yeah, Vok. Yeah. A lot of people call him Spock. He's my homie, so I know him as Vok. Spock is half human, half Vulcan, and there's been that issue throughout the series so far. Um, and I wanted to go into this. I've been reading up on economics. My book up here is Rebuild. That's the one I'm doing a course on right now. I've been reading it for years. I used to like most of my books I read at once and I started done with it. But my man here, Arthur Schopenhauer and Seneca, I don't know where my Seneca book is, but I will pull it out too. It'd be cute. But they mentioned that you ought to, you know, take books and reread them. You should just I read this thing and toss it aside. If you really want to learn something, you got to dig deeper into that. And I think maybe not so much books. I don't know if you reread books, but you've probably rewatched some films or
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and like notice something new every time you've seen it. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Uh, when it comes to like noticing different things, for me, a lot of the time it's video games, like replaying video games. I've played. I just recently did another playthrough of Grand Theft Auto 5, which it's got
Yeah,
to be like maybe my 20th time playing the single player for that game. I still notice new stuff in that game. There's so much going on. Yeah, I haven't ever read anything twice. I've definitely watched a bunch of shows twice. I've watched movies, and there are things that I pick up because like there's a lot of sometimes there's a lot of like foreshadowing, and so
yeah,
you don't notice it at first because you don't know that it's foreshadowing anything. Except for the new season of Daredevil, one of the characters said, "I will burn for you." I'm pretty sure he's gonna literally burn alive. I'm pretty sure that was foreshadowing. Don't know yet, but I'm pretty sure that's that man's fate. But but yeah, it's something I find interesting to when I'm going back and rewatching stuff. Yeah.
and well, it's my fault. We delved into media instead of the topic at hand. But you know, I actually thought of this while you were talking. You mentioned Grand Theft Auto in that game. To go into that, um, it's strange to think about a media that you control and um in that you're running around killing people or stealing stuff. Uh, do you think like how do you feel playing that game? Do you think it's just fun to control, or do you like uh the act of controlling a character and doing these sorts of things? Because when I played Grand Theft Auto, that's was a fun aspect to me. I never like the first time I played it. I never played an open world game. Like I never played Zelda before,
Yeah.
so it's my first experience being able to have a map. Not like like the closest thing I could think of is maybe games like Super Mario 64, where you can run
Yeah.
around in the hub world, but
Yeah.
you're not really playing the game there. You're like
Yeah.
it's take you to different levels. Like
They gotta make an
that
open world
one.
Tetris.
There we go. There we go. Actually, the open world Tetris is doing UPS or cargo. Get the boxes on the go. Kind of like what do you enjoy about the game? Just
It's well, I do find the gameplay fun. Going around. It's not just obviously there's a lot of killing people. I enjoy good combat in video games, but uh, this most recent time I was playing it on Steam, and on the PC version you can actually upload your own music into the radio. Like there's a self radio option. So I really enjoy just driving around in the game, listening to Rina Sawayama, The Weeknd, Poppy, listening to artists like that. Just and then like trying to obey the traffic laws, which is difficult in Grand Theft Auto because not a lot of the NPCs like to obey the traffic laws. Um, but yeah, it's I enjoy it, and it's a very interesting story in that game. You know, there's a lot of comedy involved, but then there's also moments that get not quite comedic. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I just think it's a very fun game, and it's just so big. There's so much to do, so many different things you can do. I'm very excited for 6 if that actually does finally come out next year. It was supposed to be this year, then it got delayed the next year. It's who knows when it's coming out, but I'm very excited for it when that does happen. Although I already know because they have alligators in that one. I know I'm going to be eaten by an alligator at least like 50 times in my first playthrough, and it's never going to be voluntarily.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. So when you follow traffic laws, are you I mean, I think you're role playing that because when I play Grand Theft Auto, I'm like, all right, I'm just blowing. I'm gonna try to get
Yeah,
to where
cause,
I want to go as fast as I could.
yeah, because like I said, I've played the game a great many times, plus like the insane amount of hours in the online. So it's like it's just fun to go about it in a different way every now and then. Uh, and you there are some missions where you can't obey the traffic laws because you're like on a timer, and if you
Yeah.
take too long, the game will just be like, nah, nah, dude, you're doing this over. But yeah, for the most part, I tried sticking to the traffic laws, and just a fun little change of pace, a little role playing, like you said. Um, I wish they had blinkers, like a button to turn on your like turn signal.
Oh, that'd be cute. Yeah.
They had the other NPCs can do that. You can actually see other cars turning on their blinkers, so that would have been be a cool thing. I don't think it would be like I don't think they're gonna add it because I don't think enough people would use it to justify adding it, but it'd be a fun
Well,
little detail.
the thing is, like, for video games, Rerez did this video called Ice Bucket, where like it was cool to see things that the designers added in that hey maybe everyone won't notice, but
Yeah,
it's cool that they added in, and I think Rockstar seems to do very good with that.
yeah,
I think there was a lot of what he called Ice Bucket and Red Dead Redemption, but I just wanted to mention the only two Grand Theft Auto games I finished was Grand Theft Auto 5. Well, finished in that I finished the story. I didn't 100%
yeah.
it. And the only other one is Grand Theft Auto 2 on the Game Boy Color.
I've beaten the story of 4 and then obviously 5 a great many times. I never beat San Andreas, but I did watch someone else beat it in person. Like it was my sister's boyfriend from like 20 years ago. Um, I
I
think that
beat
although
it.
the farthest I personally made it was to the flight school, couldn't pass it. Couldn't pass it to save my life. Yeah, I've beaten 4 once and I've beaten 5 a great many times. I'll probably beat 6 a great many times. I haven't 100%ed it, although I do hope to do such on the PS5 version because that's like the closest I've come to getting everything. I would like to platinum it on there, but it takes the thing I'm most worried about with that. One of the things you need to do is you have to take a picture of every animal in the game.
Ah,
The thing about that is they got to be alive when you take a picture of them, and some of the animals in the game are violent. So you gotta like pull your camera out, take a picture of them, send the picture into whatever the thing is, all while the mountain lion's running right at you to try to murder you. So that seems like
I
it would be
like
a little
it.
difficult, but yeah, I'm trying to do that.
Hell yeah, dude. Um, the and to the topic. Well, it's our got off the rails, and it is my fault. But I thought the discussion was fun. Ha- I don't think you played Grand Theft Auto on Twitch, but I don't think any of that's on YouTube, or is it? I can't recall.
uh, I know we have a bunch of. I know we have clips on Twitch, like the like clips that are saved on Twitch from it, like such as TJ doing a swanton bomb off the top of a building.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
we have clips of it. I don't think there's any action. There are videos on Brandon's channel from like a decade ago where I was on his channel and we were playing Grand Theft Auto Online with a couple other people. So those are up there. I think the videos are just titled GTA with Idiots. and there's a couple of
I
those.
see.
Yeah. And not Grand Theft Auto, but I did play part of the way through Saints Row the third, I believe, with
Oh yeah,
Mink back
yeah,
in
that's right.
back in the Giggity Gopher days.
Back in the Giddy Gopher days, and you can find that on YouTube.
Yes.
Just type in Gopher and Tuck. But there's not just old videos, right? There's some new stuff as well.
So I gotta apologize. I've been a bit rough lately with the uploads. So we recently went back to that style we tried a couple years ago, where it's like faster videos. You know, there's less videos, but it's like they're more condensed, so they're better videos. The reason we stopped initially was because it was too much work. But I figured this time I'll try to keep on it. It's too much work, but the issue is
But
like
there has been, well, sorry, I think but there has been some. I noticed you are playing Baldur's Gate,
yes, that
and
playing that on
there's been
Twitch.
videos.
Yeah, so I we're probably going to be going back to the the usual previous style of just not really cutting much out every episode each day, because that's, despite the fact that that's more episodes, it's a lot easier to edit, because there's like the other kind is very heavily edited down, so it'll take me like maybe 3 hours to edit a 10-minute video. But before we get back to that, we gotta finish uploading Pokemon and Split Fiction, because it'd be weird for those to just go back to that style in the middle of the playthrough. And
That's true.
there's still like four or five recording sessions each for those two games to go through. So, but yeah, I gotta get back to that. Gotta get those finished. Yes, we have been doing Baldur's Gate 3. Been playing it on Twitch with Brandon, or not Brandon, with Jeff and TJ, and then the VODs have been getting
With
re-uploaded.
Juck, not Tuck.
Jeff, not Doug. VODs have been getting re-uploaded to YouTube every Sunday at 2 p.m. Central Time. There wasn't one this week. We were gonna play on Thursday, I think, but I was not feeling well. Had a headache. I was puking. It was a rough day, so none this week.
Oh,
Yeah, but we'll be getting it back to it next week. I think there's 3 VODs so far. Where I killed a lot of people I was apparently not supposed to kill early in the game, so that's going. We also, of course, have GM Battle Season 3. We're on Season 3 of that. This time with a guest, TJ, joining us as a guest GM. That is continuing every Sunday, but at noon Central Time. Obviously, we have Trek in the Future every Saturday here on Twitch, and then 2 p.m. getting re-uploaded to YouTube same day. All of that. Again, got to get back to the Split Fiction videos and the Pokemon videos. They're all fully recorded. They've been done. They're all done. We're back to recording a game called Phogs, Phogs, which stands for Physics and Dogs. Kind of a cat dog type character, but they're both sides are dog.
yeah.
So we're playing that. We actually started playing that before Split Fiction. We did like one session of that, and then Split Fiction came out, so we immediately went to that. So by the time we got back to it, it was like 3 months later. But none of it's been uploaded yet. But that'll be going up once I'm finished uploading the other 2 things. I know Brandon wants to play the new Indiana Jones game that just came out on PlayStation 5 finally. I know he wants to do the DLC for that game by the Rick and Morty creators. So
Oh yeah, with the gun with the face on it.
yes, and I believe the Australian knife from the main game it becomes the main weapon in the DLC, so that's fun. On account of Justin Roiland being removed from everything. But yeah, we have plans. There's other stuff coming. Just got to get past this hurdle of editing these videos that take forever, and then we'll go back to the old style, and I'll be able to just crank them out. And yeah, so there you go for and tuck. Also, I wasn't sure when to mention this. I do plan on doing a 24-hour stream this year. Now, I was thinking about this recently because the last 24-hour stream was just over a year ago. It was towards the end of March, I believe, or March or April. I think the April. It was right after Stellar Blade came out because it was Stellar Blade. So I want to do another one, but because it's been a while, I was thinking like, what occasion can I do something for? And then I realized November 24th this year will be the 10-year anniversary of the channel.
Hell yeah.
So if there's any day that's perfect for a 24-hour stream, it would be November 24th, 2025. I believe that's a Monday. So I don't know what I'm going to play. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but that definitely seems like a good option for a 24-hour stream this year.
Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
Um,
1 decade of Gopher.
some other news that I'm looking forward to is that um sorry, I got so
There we
many
go.
ads on my computer.
Yes,
Uh,
we finally have a release date for Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3.
Star Trek Strange New Worlds charts course for July premiere date for season 3, and just go ahead. I think you got ad blocks, so just start whenever I stop or after what seems like an excruciatingly long wait for Trekkies. Paramount Plus has finally set a premiere date for season 3 of Star Trek series Strange New Worlds. The Star Trek series
Yes.
Strange New Worlds. The show, an ensemble led by Arson Mount as Captain Pike, will debut with 2 episodes on Thursday 17th on the streaming platform. 2.
That's like really close to your birthday. Is your birthday the 19th? I always forget if it's 19th or 17th.
Okay.
19th. So there you go. That's
Yep.
right before your right before your birthday.
So we'll be back on my birthday.
Yeah, look at that. Following the premiere, new episodes will drop weekly on Thursdays, with the season finale on Thursday, September 11th. Very fun day there. Paramount Plus previously announced that the series has also been renewed for a 4th season, which is currently in production in Toronto. Mount is joined on the bridge by Rebecca Rummagen, Ethan Peck, Jess Bush, Christina Chong, Celia Rose Gooding, Melissa Navia, Babs Olasanmoken, and Martin Quinn. Guest stars this season include Rise Darby, Patton Oswalt, Cillian O'Sullivan, that's a very fun name to say, Melanie Scrofano, and Carol Kane, who returns as the quirky Landonite Pelia. Paul Wesley also returns as Captain James T. Kirk. The 3rd season will pick up from the cliffhanger of season 2, that we'll get to at some point. Paramount Plus is teasing a new villain and promises thrilling adventures of faith, duty, romance, comedy, and mystery, with varying genres never before seen on any other Star Trek, according to Thursday's announcement.
The show debuted in 2022. It is set in the decade before the classic series from the 1960s. It takes a more traditional television approach, using the Adventure of the Week format, which has won over older fans, brought in newer ones, and garnered critical
I have no clue what that word is. Hosannas?
Hosanna.
I have no clue what that is.
Hosanna, hey, Zanna,
But that's
Zanna,
us, by the way. Brought in new ones. That's us.
Hosanna. Yeah, it's like a Christian thing, I think. Paramount Plus has said the series is the most watched Star Trek series based on views calculated in the first 90 days of release. Oh, wow.
Dope.
The series has also produced clever gimmick episodes in the sense that there was an all musical episode crossover with the animated Star Trek series. These have sent fans into gleeful tizzies. The series was produced by CBS Studios, Secret Hideout, and Roddenberry Entertainment. Check out the poster below.
Yeah, there you go. There's the poster. Star Trek Strange New Worlds, new season streaming July 17th. So, we decided we'll be taking a 2-week break after this season of Trek in the Future, because our finale will be June 28th. And then season 3 of Strange New Worlds starts 2 weeks later. So we're gonna, and that works out well because Brandon will actually be here in Texas on July 11th and July 12th. So good week for us to take a break there. We'll also be taking a week the previous week, and then we'll be coming back on July 19th on Josh's birthday. There we go, season 3 debut on Josh's birthday. So we're still not sure though yet, because typically we do 1 episode a week, and then that's 10 weeks plus a bonus episode of Trek in the Future per season. But they're doing a double episode premiere, so we might like do both of the first 2 episodes of the season in the season 3 premiere. That way we could stay, doing these episodes as the new episodes come out. It will only be 2 days
Yeah.
after, you know. If that's the case, we might do something special for episode 10 and then have a episode season finale. Uh, but yeah, that's worked out pretty well for us. Lining up
Mm.
pretty well like that. It's fun to see.
I feel like maybe the gimmick should be you should watch like none of the episodes and maybe have ChatGPT write up some stuff for you to say like, yeah, I like Spock. He does that Vulcan thing.
Yeah, yeah. And Spock
I
was
liked
pretty
it.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to season 3. We spoke about this several times. And it's cool that we get 2 episodes on the premiere. Um,
Yeah,
so a lot more Trek to engage in, and it's brand new. I
yeah.
mean, well, of course, any
Yeah,
most
the second
Star Trek I'm
season is
watching.
brand new for us, but it's 2 years old for everyone else. But
Yeah.
this new
So,
season though, we'll be doing these episodes 2 days after they premiere. Pretty cool.
yep,
I like that. I like that.
absolutely. And yeah, really looking forward to that. And we'll have to figure out what to do for the season finale.
Yeah.
If
I mean, we're gonna have basically 2 extra episodes if we do that instead of the 1 extra episode. I do think we could watch another movie. That could be one of the episodes.
Mhm.
You know, we only watched one of those so far. We could potentially watch a second movie there and then figure something out for the other episode. But
oh, and since we're just sort of talking here, I just bought and I posted this on Gopher's Discord. Yeah, join it and just say I'm here for the chess. And well, you
link in
can
the
go to
description
the
on YouTube, or if you're there in the chat, right there. Enjoy with that link.
and in the there's a channel for this podcast, and I posted my brand new 3D chess set.
Man, it's there's a lot going on there. A lot going on with that. I like,
I'm looking forward
I
to playing it.
you're just kind of like just staring
Yeah,
at it like, oh god, what do I do with this?
I was I wasn't my brother's in that picture, but he wasn't playing against me. I was playing against myself. I almost blundered on move 2. it's it is really different from normal chess. The pieces move the same, but the play field and the attack boards, the whole 3D setup does make it different. And I'm looking forward to playing against Nigruk
Yeah.
in that game. Hopefully, he comes to chess club today. Yeah, I'll ask him. Uh, maybe if you all see the Star Trek, yeah, if you want to see the Star Trek chess set, the tri-dimensional chess set, hit me up on the Giggly Gopher Discord. Say,
Yeah.
hey, can we check it out? And I'll bring it to ATC.
Yeah, there you go.
I think I'll bring it today, but I don't want to transport it all the way over there every weekend.
Yeah.
Like a regular chess set, I could take 3 of them.
Mm.
This one, it's a little bit more cumbersome for me
Yeah.
to handle, but I could take it there today if someone will play against me. And
Yeah.
it seems like some people are intimidated by the 3D or the different
I'm
board.
intimidated by regular chess.
And there's that aspect too
I
for people.
got no clue
Well,
what I'm doing.
well, it's been a really enjoyable episode of Trek in the Future. A lot to look forward
Yeah.
to.
Before we end it, let's do a little preview for next week. We've been doing that lately.
Yeah.
So I like that. Lost in Translation, next week's episode, episode 6 of season 2. Uhura seems to be the only one who can hear a strange sound that seems to trigger terrifying hallucinations. So we had that one episode that was kind of aliens-esque in the first season. Looks like we might have another more horror-based one to look forward to here. I'm liking that. And again, I will watch this past week's episode that I, for some reason, completely forgot about. And I'll talk about that briefly at the beginning of next week's episode. Give my thoughts on that. We got this. There we go. A lot of stuff to look forward to.
Absolutely, guys. Live long and prosper. Thanks for joining us on Trekking the Future. We'll be here next weekend, and you have a good rest of your weekend and day.
Yes. See you.
Live long and prosper.